afternoon, Miss Frazier. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good. Thank you for coming in to meet with me.
Great.
We met a few months ago to discuss some concerns that you had with Jack. You had mentioned that you were concerned with a few things, including his writing in regards to his legibility as well as his grammar, and also that you wanted him to be able to identify his own behaviors when it came to his ADHD.
Yes.
So in the past few months, I've been observing and assessing him in multiple different ways. And in his language arts class, when I observed, I decided to implement an intervention to help with Jack's off-task behaviors. The intervention that his language arts teacher and I discussed and decided to implement together were preferential seating as well as frequent checks for understanding. So we would just specifically assign him a seat every day in the front of the classroom so that it's closer to his teacher and she can more closely monitor his needs as the class period progresses.
That sounds like a good idea.
Now this is a graph that I created for you that you can see.
You're going to have to explain this.
Okay, so as you can see, the first, the data points are for his frequency of off-task behavior. So the first couple data points you can see on day 1, he had a total of 25 off-task behaviors during that one class period.
Wow. Okay.
Day 2 were 32 times, and day 3 were the 28 times. So this was our baseline. So this is what we were starting with prior to any interventions.
Okay.
The next 10 days of data were taken while the interventions were being implemented. So, and then the last 3 days were when we pulled off the interventions just to kind of see where he was when we take those interventions away, if we were able to minimize his off-task behaviors.
Okay.
So as you can see from the trends in the graphs, that the interventions were successful when they were being implemented, and when we pulled them away, he increased his off-task behavior, but it wasn't quite to the extent as it was prior to the interventions.
Okay.
So after reviewing all of my assessments with Jack, I created a long-term annual goal for him. One was that with no more than 10 off-task behaviors per class period, when editing 5 already written sentences that contain 8 punctuation errors, Jack will complete editing of each sentence with no more than 1 punctuation error, including those left uncorrected and any corrected inaccurately.
Okay. That sounds good.
Does that sound like a obtainable goal for Jack over a year span?
I think so. With the interventions that you guys used, it seems like that should be an obtainable goal.
Yes, I think that the interventions allowed us to get his off-task behavior low enough. I think there's still room that we can decrease those off-task behaviors.
Okay, great.
All right, well, thank you for taking the time to meet with me.
Thank you.